and assemble the so that we have a picture of the player and the jersey. I don't know when they hand over. They hand over the jersey. When should we stand in front of the new year? Okay. No, it's fine.
When Brazil win the AFCON.
End of the minister's speech.
Where's Dennis? Where's Dennis?
It's a good speaker.
The Cape Town seems to be going well.
Yeah, no, everything is going well.
But you can see the DA is panicking.
Yeah, I think we could have done a lot of damage. There was not much strategy and mobilization.
Yeah.
We always undermine ourselves about our potential and what we can achieve.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this, the departure press conference for Bafana Bafana as we head into to Equatorial Guinea via Gabon. But before we start, can we all stand up and let's have the national anthem of South Africa. Thank you. You may be seated. Let's welcome in our midst the Minister of Sport and Recreation, the Honorable Fikile Mbalula. Just to let you know that he opted to cut short his holiday just to be with us, which shows how important this occasion is to him and to the people of South Africa. Thank you, Mr. Minister. We also have the President of the South African Football Association, Dr. Jordaan. We have our head of delegation here, Me Riale Dwaba. And on my far left, we have the captain of the ship, Ephraim Shakes Mashaba, who's the head coach of Bafana Bafana. Members of the media, welcome. Thank you for being here with us this morning.
Still on holiday. I was trying to get you to finish speaking.
Oh, okay. And the person who's just joined us is the Chief Executive Officer of the South African Football Association, Mr. Dennis Mumble. Welcome, sir. To kick off the proceedings, let's ask the President of South African Football Association, Dr. Jordaan, to say a few words and then introduce the Minister. And also bear in mind that this is a very important and perhaps crucial year for South African football. The under-17s and under-20s are in camp. We all know that they're playing AYC, under-17 next month, and under-20 in March. So it's a very important year for South African football. Dr. Jordaan.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you, and for 2015, our very best wishes for which promised to be a very, very challenging year for South African football. I'm very happy that the Minister joined us this morning. Honourable Minister, thank you very much for coming and being with us here this morning. As Morake said, we have 3 teams in camp: Bafana Bafana, under-20, and our under-17 team. I don't think that there was a moment in South African football history where 3 teams were in camp at the same time. The under-17 team is preparing. They're on their way. They're playing Zambia, and then they play in Nigeria, and then they go to the AFCON for under-17, and there they will meet up against Cote d'Ivoire in their group. They will be with Cameroon, and they will be with Mali. And if they get out of that group, they will qualify for the World Cup for under-17. And if they achieve that, it will be the first time in the history of South African football that our under-17 team qualify for the World Cup. You can imagine their excitement, and I was with them this morning. And they've asked, they want to play against the under-20, which match is probably in progress now. The under-20 team is also in camp because they will fly out to Qatar, and then from Qatar they go to Russia, to St. Petersburg, which used to be called Leningrad. And there they will play in a tournament as well. And in that tournament, they will play against Russia, they will play Uzbekistan, and you may say, now who's Uzbekistan? Uzbekistan is already qualified for the Under-20 World Cup. And I think it will be a huge challenge for them. Qatar and Russia are the hosts for the 2018 World Cup and the 2022 World Cup. And those 2 countries are also building their teams to be competitive when they host the World Cup. Qatar has also qualified for the Under-20 World Cup. And so you could see that what we want to achieve is to put our junior teams at this stage against those countries with similar ambitions to be strong in 2018 and 2022. But the core of the team, of course, sits here, this Bafana team. And therefore, we are also want to say to you, Equatorial Guinea is not the end of the road, it's the beginning of the road. And the success that you've achieved, we must recognize and congratulate you, because there are 54 countries on the African continent, and you are already amongst the 18 best. And you are in a group where only the best of African football find themselves. The number 1 in Algeria, the number 4, and the number 5 in Senegal and Ghana. In the other groups, you'll see Equatorial Guinea is 120, but they are in there. That doesn't matter in tournaments. We believe in you. You have shown us in away matches in particular. It was a huge thing in South African football that away matches you must strive for 1 point. Well, Sheikhs came with an approach to take 3 points in all the away matches, which is a phenomenal achievement. And I think you must not underestimate your strength and ability, where you debunked a whole history of Point Noir. The qualification of the World Cup 1998 in Point Noir, these journalists has written volumes about that match in Point Noir. And I don't think when they read what you have done in Point Noir, that they recognize what you have done. What became a basis to generate fear in the hearts of South African players. You went there and dismissed it. completely. And I don't think anyone will talk about Point Noir in South African football history. Certainly the media will know that you've debunked that, you've dismissed that. You've dismissed the idea that Nigeria cannot be defeated. You've debunked that. You've debunked the idea that once Nigeria is in the group, they qualify. The other place, other people must fight for, but one place is for them. You've debunked that. And so what you have to do is to continue that path of writing a different history, your own history. So I want to wish you the very best. To Sheikh Mashaba, thank you very much for creating the basis for South Africans to believe in Bafana Bafana again, to hope again, and to see progress and achievement again in our senior national team, Bafana Bafana. So we want to thank you and the national team, and you go with all our support and blessing to Equatorial Guinea. We want to wish you the very, very best. And so on behalf of the entire executive, national executive of South African football, or the entire administration of football, go with our blessings and our total support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And before we hand over to the Minister of Sport, let me also welcome SAFA National Executive Committee members. Gentlemen, you're most welcome. Now, Mr. Minister, you can say a few words.
Thank you very much. I will speak like Fidel Castro for 2 hours. No, I don't want to speak like Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. I'll just keep it to 6 hours. I will take it to 2. So brace yourself. President of SAFA, Danny Jordaan, and the entire executive of SAFA. We're very proud of this moment as South Africa. We're proud of your achievements. The fact that we've got our developmental teams in camp, it says a lot about the standard of our football, but most importantly, about where we want to take football to in South Africa. People have been saying that we don't have a plan in South Africa for the national team, under 23 and all of that. But for once, all our teams have actually qualified, and they are preparing for themselves for the bigger competitions in the African continent. And thank you to SAFA. We have to thank you when you do well, because we say a lot when you're not, as football-loving people, as a nation. And I think since you came as the president, I'm not patronizing you, because I don't really like to buy face. I need to say to you, whilst you're still alive and you are in this position, I think the focus you have brought with your team to football since you came in as a president, and to focus us and everybody else on the task at hand is very much important, to strengthen our national teams, because that is about the pride of the nation. It speaks to the soul of South Africa in terms of us being a winning nation. Bafana Bafana, and football in particular, plays an important role in the RDP of the soul, reconstruction and development of the soul of South Africa. The social fiber, the social cohesion, the happiness of our people is dependent on this particular national team and this art called football or soccer, as it resonates well with the majority of our people in South Africa. To Brashakes and your team, the coaching team and your staff, I think God continue to bless you and our ancestors for a great job that you have done, to continue to lead these young stars of our nation in a good direction. And may you be blessed with many of such victories going forward. And I think we may say today that this is what the good doctor ordered, Dr. Danny Jordaan. in terms of employing you as a coach for our national team. And may God bless you, and we commend you to good health and strength to continue to guide our national team and work very hard to take us to the top. I want to echo the President's point. Equatorial Guinea is not the cul-de-sac. It's not the end, it's a journey. And we must understand where we come from. Others will define it as a journey. We are going there with great expectations, but our expectations must be controllable. And I want to salute this team of Bafana Bafana, you as players, individually and collectively, for taking us to this point. This is what we want. And when we said to you at the beginning of last year, or this year, I don't even remember, about a bunch of losers, that was not meaning that we are putting water on you that you can't perform. We knew that our players, you are a special generation and you can deliver and you can perform. And I think you have come of age now. You are taking us to AFCON. I've said it and I want to repeat it now. This is a special moment for South Africa. And I don't even remember the years, how many years we have not qualified to go to AFCON. Today we are going to AFCON as able competitors and also people who have arrived there, not out of sheer luck or fluke, but out of our worth and our own potential. And you unleashed that. And the world is yet to see that potential. And each one of the players who were selected by Brasheiks have given their worth to this national team. And I think you have restored the glory, the pride, and the belief of the nation to the national team. I don't come here as a Minister of Sports on behalf of government to ask you to win AFCON. If you win AFCON, that will be a glorious moment for South Africa. I'm coming here to ask you to go and compete and not to become a statistic in Equatorial Guinea. And we have proven that throughout the competition. You are not going to play with robots. You are going to play with people who are equally ready, who want to win the tournament, who want to restore the pride of their own nations. But I'm a proud South African today to stand here to bid farewell to our team, knowing very well that our flag will be restored among nations, knowing very well that our national anthem will be sung all the time among those competing nations in Equatorial Guinea. And and on your own, you actually made it a point that we get there. And we wish you good luck, and we wish you all the strength. We'll pray for you. And those who throw bones will do that. and all of us as a nation, from all angles, in all our prayers, we will bow down and pray for you and your success. Because in you, we believe that you not only have a potential, you have all the abilities to actually restore the glory and win it for South Africa. And there's no pressure. And there's nothing that says to you, don't do otherwise. And I think you guys, and as a team, as a collective, you have actually done us proud this far. This moment on its own is very special. And this year in sport is equally important. Bafana Bafana and Equatorial Guinea is a first assignment. And after Bafana Bafana, tonight we'll also bid farewell to the Proteas, our cricket national team. They will also be followed by rugby to the World Cup. And then will be followed by Amantombazana, which is the netball team, to the World Cup. And you are the first assignment in the queue of preserving the pride of the nation. So it's a special year, and I think you can make it, and you can go all the way. Sis Really Dwaba was saying to me, I've got all the T-shirts up until the final, and I'm confident that we'll get there. We are all confident, like you are, that we'll get to the final, but that is not my mandate to get to the final. I'm asking you that amasi abeke elangeni. The jig is up. Ikwala kulo nina. Those who don't believe, don't board that flight. Just stay here and ask Brashakes to replace you. Because now we are about to get to battle. We need your agility, we need your ferocity. We need your spirit. And you need to pray. You need to believe. And you need to express that through your God-given talent. And that there's no longer time to bask in the glory of the past. The moment is now. You either grab it or leave it. And the moment to capture that glorious moment is with you. There's nobody else that we could have selected. You come from the best of South Africa. And you have proven that you can make it going forward. And there's no other time to think of another moment other than this one. And we pray for you to go all the way to represent us and make this great nation of ours very proud. You are the offsprings of warriors. Ngungunyani tingiswayo, mushweshwe. You know, you can think of Nelson Mandela to the last of those you could have actually remembered. And all of those people have fought bitter battles and have actually won. We are a winning nation. We are a nation that is proud. Many nations envy to be like us. We are 20 years into democracy. We hosted the World Cup. We won the African Cup of Nations. Others have not. We have actually become the best in the world. We have not become a statistic. We've got every reason to believe that we can succeed as a nation. And that task to ensure that we continue to become that great nation have fell on you, not by mistake or by fluke, that hey madoda, asazi sifike njani la. You have paved that way on your own and with your own playing abilities. History is there to judge. You have taken us this far, you can take us even better. And I said in the rap of Drake, before I be called Beyonce, I said, we have started from the bottom, now we're here. And then it is up to you to become glorious. God bless South Africa. God bless our great nation. And God bless you. And we'll continue to pray for you to even become successful in the AFCON. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. We have a gift from the South African Football Association, and I know from government you're going to reciprocate with a gift. But before that, Mr. Minister, let us introduce these warriors, these troops, these players, and the team to you. Before we do that, can we just move the chairs a bit? As I call your names, players and members of the team, if you can just come to the
before
back.
you, Matlamolo, before you go, just hand to the president, just and the minister, just to round off one item. Thanks.
Well, I just want to say that we go to this AFCON knowing very well that Senzo Meyiwa, the captain of Bafana Bafana, passed on and was buried in KwaZulu-Natal, his own province. We grieved for the passing on of Senzo, for he was an integral part, an important piece of this particular national team. As a captain, he's no more, and we are going forward, and as you would have done, dedicating a game to him, and a game after game, in his name, you have won as this national team, up to the point where we went to Nigeria and almost got to a point of becoming glorious. But you must understand that Nigeria is out of the competition because of us, and that is what is important. But we are equally saying that as we continue to participate and to go and represent South Africa, we'll ask the South African police and the South African public never to forget Senzo and to continue to hunt down these criminals and leave no stone unturned to ensure that they are brought to book. In his memory, let's go and participate and ensure that we do our best to ensure that in his memory and in his shoes, Senzo would have loved us to win the Africa Cup of Nations. And you have never disappointed as a team, individually, as players, and collectively, to ensure that we celebrate his memory by succeeding. And may his spirit live long with us. And long live South Africa, and long live Senzo Meyiwa. And his criminals will be found, and will never leave any stone unturned till they are found. We remind those who are entrusted with their abilities to continue to do their best and to ensure that we hunt down these criminals and bring them to book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Can you just move the tables forward just a
want to
bit? Is it enough? The players are going to be at the back. Okay. Just to make space for the players.
We just want to put the chairs.
Players, as I call your name, can you come to the front?
We have a gift to the minister. This is the team jersey signed by the entire team, and we'd ask the team just to assemble behind here as we hand over this jersey to the minister. This is the first time that we have a jersey in AFCON since 2008, for which we've qualified, not host, but qualified. And he must tell the president. He must tell the president, because the president in parliament said, I want the team to qualify, not through hosting. So this is the jersey where we're giving to the minister to say, Mr. Minister, we thank you for your contribution and support. Please receive on behalf of the entire team this signed jersey by the team. Can the team just assemble behind the minister for this photo?
Players, Mr. Minister, here is your team. Goalkeepers, Darren Kidd, Jackson Mabohwane, Brilliant Kuzwayo. Those are your goalkeepers. The defenders, Siyabonga Nhlapo, Patrick Pungwayo, Anele Ngonga, Tulani Hlachwayo, Eric Matoho, Rivaldo Kutie, Thabo Matlaba. Midfielders, Themba Zwane, Andile Jali, Renele Letsolonyane, Bongani Zungu, Thamsanqa Sangweni, Dean Furman, Thuso Phala, Mandla Masango, Upamanyisa. And the strikers, Bernard Parker, Tukelo Rantiye, Bongani Ndulula, and Sbusiso Villagas. Mr. Minister, that is your team. And the team officials, we already have Mayor Riale Dwaba, the head of delegation, the head coach, Mr. Ephraim Shakes Mashaba, assistant coach Owen Dagama, assistant coach Thabo Sinong, goalkeeper coach Lucky Shiburi, team doctor Dr. Tulani Ngwenya, the physiotherapist Nhlanhla Mapanga, the Masio Sizo Qoko. The team manager and some of the other team members are not here as they're finalizing logistics for the travel. Did I leave anyone out?
Well, thank you very much, President, for this gesture of appreciation. And it is my singular honor and privilege on behalf of President Zuma and the entire South African nation to accept this gift from this bunch of winners and say to them, good luck. And the President said I must tell you that he wishes you all the best. Unlike me, the President believed that you'll come with AFCON. Not because I don't believe, but I think that is not our mandate. We will actually bring it to South Africa, and I know you'll go and represent us and make us proud. All the best, guys, and thank you very much. We'll remember this day. Why can't you stand, President? This is punishing. I'm trying by all means to stand. It's not working. Okay. And I now take this opportunity to present to the coach of the national team, Mr. Shakes Mashaba, the national flag of South Africa. We don't have money to give, Bra Shakes. We have a flag to give to you. And this flag is all what is at stake. for us. And please go and defend this flag when it's raised among nations and make us proud as a nation. And long live Bafana Bafana, long live our national team, long live all our players, long live Sheikhs Mashaba. God bless you. Morena Bulukas Chabasa Yesu. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Minister, the President of the South African Football Association, and all the National Executive Committee members. Ladies and gentlemen, Garrett here. How can I leave the mother of the team behind? I'll be making a mistake. Mamria, you're also welcome. And I would like to repeat what the Minister has said, included the bunch of winners. I would like to start off by saying, Minister, we also like to send our good luck to the other national teams that are going to compete. I'm sure they'll go out there and make their country proud, same as the boys behind us. It's so difficult for me to speak, in our culture, when the elders have spoken, you need not to say much. Mine was just to say to the Minister and the President, Minister, this flag that you're giving us will be hoisted high amongst the 16 nations that's more than enough, I think. What we need to do is to keep it flying there, not even at half-mast. If there was something above half-mast, we'll do that. But we promise that and guarantee that we're going to compete. We're not going to add numbers there. I think the boys are ready. We are saying to everyone, our friends, the churches, and everyone who've been sending us good luck messages, we appreciate it. We never saw it, but we felt that. It's really going down our blood. So with those words, I'd like to say, I know a lot of people will want to ask, who's the captain? Let's kill it now. They all the captains. They captain each other. And this is the legacy, Minister and President, that we want to leave in our national football. Players who come here must know why they come here, what is the reason for them, and what does it mean to don the jersey. And proudly we can report back to you as a technical team, the spirit is high in the camp. You can see that the boys mean something. So we'd like to say your coming here, President, as well, has really given us that motivation we need. So as we jet out, as people wait for us, we ask them, it mustn't for the last time. We expect them back when we come back. I'm saying on the 10th. When is the tournament finishing? On the 8th? We're coming back on the 10th. We've packed our bags for this coming 6 weeks. We're confident about it. Alone, I've got 6 bags with clothing and all these other things, and my swag dress as well. Because we know. The president always laughs at me. He says, where do you buy all these shirts? Then I say, no, my family chooses them for me. More especially the stripes one. That is the family luck. We always like stripes. But without wasting your time, media people, we'd like to thank you as well for the coverage you've been giving to this team. Positive as well, reporting in the media as we listen, as we read. We read newspapers because we want to know whether we're doing well or not. We're not reading newspapers to say, no, so-and-so is doing this. We say we urge you to go on. With those words, Minister, President, thank you.
May I at this stage ask one player representative to speak on behalf of the players? Dean, can you come forward and speak on behalf of the players? If you can just go next to the minister there and the president.
Mr. Minister, Mr. President, HOD, honourable colleagues, all of the media, we thank you for your words. We thank you for coming to see us today. This team is honoured. We're honoured to be here. We're honoured to be wearing this yellow jersey today. We'll be honoured to be wearing the kit that you've got on the 19th. We're very proud. We're very lucky to get selected by the coach. But most importantly, we want to make our nation proud. We want to go to Equatorial Guinea. We want to fight. We want to make our nation proud. We want to make our families proud, and we want to make ourselves proud. So we're very much looking forward to the tournament. We've got great belief within our ranks. We've got some top players, and we're very excited to go and showcase that at the main tournament in Africa. And we are very excited, and we hope we can make you all proud. So once again, thanks very much, and we hope to come back as winners. Thank you.
Before we take your questions, members of the media, can I ask the team to be a bit tighter so we can get a group shot? Just to be a bit tight with the minister. Brashakes, do you want to open that flag in front of you and the minister? Do you want to open the flag in front of you and the minister?
Let's just put it in front.
Yeah, I can carry it. It's better that way.
Yeah. Hold it. Am I not obstructing them at all?
Yeah. Can I ask the players to go sit down while we take questions from members of the media? The top table, please remain.
Matlomola, we must just remember that the team must get ready to go to board.
Well, they were scheduled to eat at 12:30, so it's fine. Do you have microphones in the room? Members of the media, this is your time to pose questions to the top table. If you can just say who you are, where you're from, and who the question is directed to. Do we have any questions? Remember, the team is going over to the airport to start boarding. So if you don't ask your questions now, you might not have the chance to. Do we have any questions from members of the media? None.
You.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Colleagues,
Sorry. There are questions at the back.
Oh.
Our apologies for that.
Yeah.
We can't see who's asking. Oh, yes, sir.
My question is directed to. My name is Lebu Dube from SABC News. My question is directed to the coach.
Can you speak into the mic, sir?
Coach Tatemashaba. Looking at that, you selected your 23 players, and you had time to be with them for a few days, and even be able to play a friendly against Zambia. And maybe looking back, and maybe on your own, and maybe this morning as well in the bus, and maybe just now looking at the players, do you are you positive and confident that this is the best that you could have selected, and this is enough quality for you to actually go through and come back on the 10th?
Yeah, thank you. The question seemed so long, but the answer will be short. Yes, the players that we're having the quality, the best quality that we needed.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any more questions? Oh.
Yes, sir. Sisa Majola Daily Sun, to Mr. Mashaba again. You've got 2 more games coming up. You played Zambia on Sunday, Cameroon and possibly Gabon next week. Those 2 remaining games, are they enough? You think, are those 2 games enough to sort of, give some fluidity to your team, to your 23-man squad heading to AFCON?
Thank you, Sisa. The first thing why I'm thanking you for having had my assistant grandson coach on your page. We appreciate that. Yes, I think, in preparing a national team, there's not enough time. We would have loved it to be together for a year. But most unfortunately, players have other engagement. But I think with the last 2 games, we will be knowing where we stand. We'll be knowing exactly what you expect, where we're going to. There'll be a lot of things that will come out. They will be able to adapt to the weather, we'll be able to adapt to the surfaces that we're going to play, and as well as the type of crowds that we're going to play against. We are very happy with the time that we're given.
Gentleman at the back.
Thank you. Mark Lewis from 702. My question is for you, Coach. So much has been spoken about 1996, and while it seems like it's a very long time ago, you've been in the football game for quite some time. I'm sure you remember it quite clearly. Is there anything that can be taken from that previous success in AFCON and lessons that can be put onto this young team?
I think it's not a lesson only. In 96, we've set the standard that we were AFCON material. Most unfortunately, things didn't go down, well right through the process. This team that is here now, we're trying to revive that kind of success. We can only hope and work harder to make sure that we emulate the class of 96.
Yes, sir. Do you have the microphone? Yes.
Thanks. Also, Coach, just if obviously...
If you can just say who you are, sir.
Sure, Dan Williams, CCTV News. Coach, obviously the expectations have now gone up around this team. Just if you can talk about how you're handling the pressure on the players and the pressure of expectation now, obviously coming back on the 10th of February, all being well.
Yeah, no, thanks. Pressure will always be there. And pressure, most of the time, it's what makes us to compete. I think we have worked hard. One of the things that we've done to ease the pressure down, some 2-3 days back, we had a family lunch with the players, with their families, and that was one way of doing it. But of course, pressure will always be there. But we have looked at our boys. They're strong. They've shown character. And they've really given us a surety that where we're going to, they'll be able to compete.
I saw a hand at the back.
Coach, Mazola Molefe from the Times and the Sowetan. My question goes to Coach Shakes Mashaba. Coach, you had expressed some concerns after the Zambia game. I don't know if it was mainly also because of the temperature in Soweto on the day. But obviously you've since had a couple of training sessions after that. What have you seen from this team? And have they allayed your fears and your concerns that they will compete? What are some of the things that you really worked hard on to improve what you are not satisfied with after the Zambia game?
Yeah, most unfortunately, if you remember very well, we had a break into the new year, yet the other team never had break. They were training continuously. We only lacked in few areas. We were not so sharp in our reaction. And of course, if you watched, we picked up gradually in the match. To say our boys didn't do well, it's something else. If you look at the last 20-25 minutes, we were all over Zambia. We should have scored another 3 goals if we were on target. So we are saying not to say the boys didn't do well. It was just a question of lack of that fitness that we expected from them.
Lady in red and white.
Hi, I'm G. Jamot from AFP. I have one question for the coach. How do you feel about facing such a tough group with such strong teams? And then one question for the minister. Have you got any regret about not hosting the AFCON? And do you feel like Equatorial Guinea will have had enough time to organize it?
In answering you, All three teams that we faced with, they're having the same press conference. And the media is asking them, aren't you scared of South Africa? That is what is going on. Up to until all the teams got into their first games, no one knows where they stand now. Everybody's guessing, everybody's shaking, they're not sure. So it's same as us here. But we are fortunate. What has been said about the group of death and all that, it's a motivating factor on its own on the boys. We listen to them as they talk individually, passingly. They prepared. They prepared. It will be good to play and beat the #1 nation in the continent.
Mr. Minister?
Well, first, which is not a football question, so I wanted to speak about football, but you are depriving me the opportunity. You want me to speak about the environment and the daffodils, it's okay. Look, South Africa is not a big brother of Africa. We are Africans. We are in the African continent. And our belief as a country is that any country in the African continent can host AFCON. The concerns that were raised about Ebola were realistic to a certain extent, and it is a collective endeavor of all African nations to continue to fight, to find a solution, and to fight Ebola, and to solidarize among ourselves to ensure that we find a long-lasting solution, which is a researched medicine for the fight against Ebola, which is an African solidarity among African countries. We have hosted AFCON many times. We'll host in the future, President. But we thought that we must give others a chance. And Equatorial Guinea is equally capable of hosting a successful tournament, and we're looking forward to that. I've booked my flight. I will be there, I don't know for how long, but I will be in Equatorial Guinea to witness Equatorial Guinea, to enjoy the pleasures of that country, but to also equally to support our team and our players as we take on the African continent in the tournament. Thank you very much.
Can we have the last 3 questions starting here? Where's the microphone? Or can you shout? Oh, okay, say, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's still okay afternoon now. Katleho from Power FM. My question goes to Coach Shakes. When you look at the players, is it at this point more excitement than nerves when you look at the players? And secondly, I watched the Algeria team. They were complaining about the heat, and I saw you were taking the boys to their paces in similar conditions. Was that done in mind of sort of alleviating that thing when you get to Equatorial Guinea?
Let me start off by the second question. Our sessions are determined by the outcomes of the previous games that we played, especially the Zambian game. Yes, if you have looked at our session yesterday, it was more on pushing them a little bit under the tremendous heat that we have. That is why you saw those kind of exercises. There's no way where you can select people to go defend you and you see fear in their eyes. There's no doubt. We've got so much confidence in these boys. You can look at the way they not even look at me, they're staring at me. That tells you that they are confident.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, Temba Shiba from SABC. The same question to the president and also to the coach. President, when you announced Mr. Shakes Mashaba as the new coach of South Africa, there were no expectations, so to say. But now he has gone a step further in qualifying for the AFCON. Do you feel that there's an obligation now to win the cup? Thank you.
You know, Shakes, we said when we appointed Shakes that we are not going to give you a mandate to qualify for 2015. Because we said we tried that since 2008 and we never qualified. Shakes, whatever you do, build as a team that can compete, not just for one AFCON, for the future. That's what we said. Now, it seems to me some media interpreted that as a mandate to say, Sheikhs, you can lose until 2022, we don't care. That's not what we said. We said build a team. And here is a team that has been built. And this team has qualified, and this team has competed against the best already in Africa. You must know that whether other teams in our group are number one, the defending champions, Nigeria, is not there, and they were in our group. Dealt with them. And they were superior to all of the teams in our group. Egypt is not there. And they are superior to those teams in our group. So this is football. You don't play what is on the paper. It determines on the day of the field. And so we are very happy with what has been achieved. We are happy that these players, as we said, both the team and the individual players are not at the end of their careers. They are at the beginning of their careers. And therefore, this team is not going to AFCON as an end of a process, but the beginning of a process. And it's very important to say exactly where this team is at this stage. We want to know where the team is going to be in 2017, 2018, and 2022. But in saying that, we also have to take into account where our under 17 and under 20 team is. And that's why we said under 17, under 20, the target is that under 20 team must qualify for the World Cup. That under 17 must qualify for the World Cup. Because it is when our junior teams qualify for the World Cup, together with this group of players, that we know we have a secured future. And that is what we want to achieve. Not to say to the coach, go and qualify, it doesn't matter what. Coach, this is a broad direction and vision of South African football. Go and work and find the players to get us there. So I hope that the mandate is clearly understood. The mandate was never to say we don't care about success. Football is about success. And that's why we play every day, is to succeed. And this is why you have national teams. The national teams must succeed, and we are very happy that we can celebrate the success of the team, what Sheikhs has achieved, and the technical staff here together with the players. We are extremely proud of what these players have achieved. And I don't know, Mr. Minister, you're packing for 1 week or 6 weeks. You're also following his advice. When you go to Equatorial Guinea, you're going to pack for 6 weeks.
I'm inspired by Brasheiks. I didn't say it, he said it. I've never heard of anybody who goes to war and say, I'm prepared to die before you start fighting. And Brasheik says, we are going there to win it. And ngesiZulu kuthiwa igwala intoni yegwala iphelele etyeni. Umkhonto wegwala uphelele etyeni. Ngoba igwala la soloko liulola umkhonto. Athi, excuse my French, uyabona manje kuzawunyiwa. So lomkhonto sekudala uSheikhs sewulola. Sekudala ulola uSheikhs lomkhonto. Manje so ready. And sesiyahamba manje siyobagwaza. Njengobusenzo besitsho Brasheiks. Athi into encane le. Masiyeni siyolwa madoda. Ngoba sekudala siulola lomkhonto. Basibonile abasaziyo nabacabanga ukuthi bayasazi. Bengasazi. Bazosibona masifika Equatorial Guinea. I've never heard any nation that is proud of itself that says, sesizawubona khona. Ay, siyozama. No. Uzama sovela uthi esizamile ayasazi ke, but we tried. But you don't start by saying we are going to try. You are saying no, we are going. But you know very well you are not going to play with robots. You are going to play with fellow human beings who are equally determined to win. And you are equally prepared to sharpen yourself and go to battle. And we release our players and everybody and the coach to say that siyanikhulula madoda ngemiphefumulo wonke umuntu don your Bafana Bafana jersey and support our national team. Pray very hard. And then, you know, ancestors are with us. Yonke indlela ivunyiwe. Abafundisi basibambele ngemithandazo ukuthi sikhulula lamadoda labafana ukuthi bayosimele ezizweni. And that is what is important. And so the nation have spoken, and you have carried yourself to be at this point, and it's time now to go. Yeah.
Last question at the back there.
Thank you, Mahlomola. Mzima Simgebisa, SABC Sport. Dr. Jordaan, one question is for you, and then the other one is for the coach. I'll start with you, coach. You were the first South African coach to qualify a team of the South African Football Association to a tournament in Morocco in '97 with the under-20. Subsequently, obviously, from that final, you went to Malaysia. You've been to tournaments, including qualifying South Africa for the first time for the Olympics. You had qualified South Africa for the AFCON in 2004. You were unceremoniously removed. Have all those experiences, how do they all shape you? Have the disappointments in the past drive your anger to say, I'm going to channel it into positivity to make sure that this team really does stay in Equatorial Guinea until the 10th because of your experiences over the last 17 or so years? And also to Dr. Jordaan, in previous experiences with the South African senior national team in particular, issues of financial rewards have always been the ugly duckling or Achilles heel, so to put it. Have those been resolved with the team as they depart this afternoon?
Thank you, Mr. Mkibisa. I think, in short, all what you've mentioned have been preparing me for this. I've been sharpening my spear. And it has been there, sharp. And I appreciate what these boys have done. It's going to give us, as a technical committee, an opportunity to see how high or how far are we in terms of our coaching. You know, we're going to be faced with world-class coaches. But what I can tell you, coaches don't play football. Football is played by the players on the pitch. That is all, and we are ready for that, as the minister has indicated. We're going to compete.
I think the other question is to Dennis Mambo. We have an administration, and what you raise, an administrative matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, President. Those matters have been resolved. That ugly duckling will not rear its head at this Africa Cup of Nations. I think that should be enough for me to say. But I think before we move on, Matlamola, I think we really need to recognize, I've just noticed now in the back are the people who have been very gracious to us in sharing this coach with us. The family of Coach Mashaba in the back. Welcome, Mrs. Mashaba and family. I see Tokozani there as well. Welcome. And thank you once again for sharing. I think, President, it's incumbent upon us now for you to hand over this team. They leave our care right now as of this moment and hand this team over to the HOD, Ms. Riela Dwaba.
Well, I would ask the minister to help me to hand over, because this team is going to represent our country. And our country has a government that's being represented here by the Honorable Minister of Sport. So I'll ask the Minister of Sport to hand over to the head of delegation the flag as we wish her the very best. I must tell you, Sheikhs, you know, you select the team and I appoint the HODs. But if this was a player, She would have told you, Shakes, I don't care who else you put in, but I'm in the team. So she was fighting. That's why you see there was no change in this HOD. Didn't allow any other one to come in. So I had no choice, Shakes, in the selection of the HOD. But she's done an incredible job. This lady is a lady who's got huge influence and impact on South African football. We don't have a woman owner of a coach anymore, or of a team in PSL anymore. They relegate all the women.
Oh.
Matu was relegated last time. But you and Natasha, you sold your club, so now we have no women owner of clubs in South Africa. But Matu, Ria, and Natasha Chiklas, through their clubs, have made a huge contribution to South African football. And so I'm very happy that such a seasoned campaigner in football is the head of delegation on this important mission. Can I ask the Minister, this flag does not belong to SAFA. This is a government's flag.
No, you must wrap it nicely.
Don't miss it. It's your property, this.
Yes.
Yes.
Proper. Yes. Okay. It's not only soldiers who can wrap the flag.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matumola. Colleagues, if you would allow us, please, we are running very, very tight here on time. The team must board. They were supposed to board at 12 o'clock already. It is now 26 minutes after 12. So if you would allow us just to get the team out and the whole delegation out to the aircraft. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can just very quickly, the players, you'll move to the next door, and the dignitaries to have lunch, and the members of the media, if you still want to see the team, will be at the airport just after 1 o'clock as we prepare to board. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.